Okay, let's test the audio. Testing, testing. Perfect. Awesome. It just went live and we're gonna share a screen. All right, we have 1 minute to get started. Hello, everybody. We're about to start our event. Welcome. Alexi, can you hear me now? Testing, testing. The sounds in LinkedIn is working. Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. For those that are just joining, welcome in Zoom, and we're broadcasting on our A Doctor's Journey different channels, including LinkedIn. Today, I'm very excited to be here again, sharing some tips and tricks that I have used in the past for my own personal life and professional life, but fundamentally, it had allowed me to build different businesses, and I've been blessed to coach physicians, entrepreneurs, and oftentimes we don't stop to kind of spend some time reflecting on why it's so important to focus on your mental fitness. And that's kind of the message that I bring today, and I hope I can ignite your curiosity and interest in this topic that is so necessary. And I need to underscore the need of having this conversation each time I coach physician entrepreneurs, founders, people in leadership positions. Um, when I allow them to stop, even if it is for a very brief period of time, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and start reflecting on what they're doing and try to get them grounded and focused, you can see clearly the shift, on their emotional state and their mindset. I favor the concept of mind shift because we're always evolving and changing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story and why I have this core mission of spreading the word of mental fitness through different strategies. The one that I've been entertaining the most, due to the vast evidence that support their usefulness, is positive intelligence. So my name is Miguel Villagra. I'm a board certified internal medicine physician. I am hospitalist through most of my career. I've been in leadership position of a medical director, regional medical director. I got burned out big time in the process, and that's when I came across coaching. It became such a useful tool, and this partnership was just still have a coach that helped me to get through the challenge and navigate the challenge of entrepreneurship and my personal and professional life. I I found this so empowering that allowed me to start building connections and building community and building different startups. Initially, I founded a doctor's journey that is a platform for coaching. It does offer it does offer a podcast where I'm blessed to interview physicians, entrepreneurs that are sharing their journey and their story. And that's one of the things I'm most passionate about. In addition to that, I entertain digital health and telemedicine. I've been doing this for now 5 years, and I work with different telemedicine companies, some of which I offer clinical services, leveraging the licenses I have. But at the same time, I've been able to coach some of their teams using different frameworks, including the ones we're going to discuss today, which is positive intelligence. And I truly believe that when you are, we're all leaders for sure, but definitely the ones that are entertaining a change and going through challenging times, either a changing job, changing career, a leadership position, starting your new company, etc. There is a lot of uncertainties to navigate and challenges to navigate, and oftentimes your inner critic and your that we're going to talk about the judge, it becomes extremely loud and oftentimes might lead to few things in consequence. One of them, of course, it doesn't allow you to fully enjoy and explore and entertain the given moment you're going through in this journey, but also it stops you to make decisions. It narrow your view and either leads to inaction, meaning no decision at all, the freeze mode, or it leads you to not the best decision for you. And I think that, again, having opportunities of reflection so you can build clarity on what you want to do with you, with your life and your career are extremely important, you know. And coaching has become a powerful tool because when you have somebody guiding you through this process and journey, becoming your not only your accountability partner, which is important for sure, but in addition to that, help you identify your blind spot, the area, the gaps on your mindset that you're not seeing, and it might be affecting you to achieve your full grow potential. I'm here for the endless game, and I aim for blending my entrepreneurial journey with the options of possibilities of continue growing as a person, as a human being, as a coach, as a healthcare advisor. At this point, you know, there's a lot of healthcare innovation. I'm so excited about all these changes, and I think there's so many opportunities for those that are interested on getting involved in this process. I have the opportunity to talk to many funders of startups on a regular basis, and I think there's a lot of changes that are coming that will reshape the way we practice medicine, telemedicine, artificial intelligence, automation, improving workflows. Um, it will just, I think it's going to be a change ultimately for good, but it all depends on how you're going to navigate these challenging waves of change that we're going through. So I'm hoping that today we're going to um, ignite, you know, and build an inner fire that can at least get you to a point of curiosity about mental fitness and positive intelligence, but more important, even start you on a path for fulfillment, for meaningful change, and for continuous growth, which is what I have been embraced for me, for my personal and professional life. Success is not the result of spontaneous combustion. You must set yourself on fire. And that's precisely the message today. I'm here to help you to get this reignite of your career, of your profession, of your interest, what you're most passionate about. So mental fitness for me is a way to build resilience, sharpen your focus, and unleash creativity. In these times, of massive changes. We're overwhelmed by the information, data, news. Being able to have this critical thinking of filter what matters the most is becomes more crucial. And I've been reading a lot of entrepreneurs working on artificial intelligence, different books, and I know there's a lot of interest, right? Raising interest and definitely multi-billion dollars invested in multiple companies. And the point that I want to make here is that we always need this human touch and this critical thinking of how we're going to deploy this technology, how we're going to leverage and help us improve our workflow in a way that we can reshape our healthcare system that is so due to renewal. I, I have talked about burnout and moral injury multiple times, and unfortunately, the stats are getting worse. 2 in 1 physicians experience symptoms of burnout, and what can we do about it? That's kind of one of the questions I want to ponder today. And I think the change starts within. And I'm not undermining the multifactorial issues of a structure that fundamentally needs to change in healthcare. But definitely, the first step is always come from within. Because one of the things that I have expressed when I coach a physician is that you want physicians that are empowered, has this critical thinking, this out of the box mindset that can help you come with solutions that can improve our own workflows, our own life, or the way we practice medicine rather than coming from a point of disappointment, dissatisfaction, and overwhelm, which I would say those three things are the most common emotional states that I hear a lot. Interesting, not only on physicians that are practicing medicine and exposed to all this burnout epidemic, but even in patients that are in leadership position or healthcare providers or even founders, people that are building teams for their own companies. So this is an invitation for reflection of how important it is for you to consider what changes needs to happen for you to be able to kind of get you to this point of content, and how you can sharpen your focus and set the most important priorities for you, your life, and your businesses. Earlier in the day, I was having a conversation with a potential client, and he was telling me how he struggled about this concept of wearing multiple hats, right? He's having leadership position with the healthcare startups, but at the same time, he still have a, a, a he still practice medicines, going to a hospital, and in addition to that, he does telemedicine. So he's doing multiple things. And one of the things that I ask him is simple: why you are doing it, right? So and how these align with your deep passion and purpose. And those two P and capital letters, I will say that's crucial. And once again, it requires a lot of time and reflection. Um, Now, one of the questions I like to ponder is why some thrive while others merely survive. That is called the disparity of outcome. And I think that the best example I can give you here is entrepreneurship. We know that among 10 startups, probably 7 at least, even 8 will fail. One, as an investor, we give you decent returns, but you're aiming for that one that can give you the most exponential returns. And the question is to know which one is the one you're going to focus on. And going back to disparity of outcomes, I think that the ones that had a team leader or a founder that is helping these people to raise to the maximal level of their true potential. And I'm gonna share a few tricks that you can utilize today, not tomorrow, with for those that are leading teams, but also with those that are wanna improve with their own personal life. The other side of the coin is that change is hard, right? And sometimes we even associate change with something negative, right? So that's what I call the pain pleasure dichotomy, right? We feel like there is success and entrepreneurship has to be equal of pain of discipline, uncertainty, and long hours of work. And believe me, it's hard. I've been there. Building your own company is a whole process, it's a whole hurdle. However, when you get the right support and the right community, and one of the projects that I'm currently working in, a build business that I'm developing, is called the PEX. It's a physician entrepreneur program for physicians and soon to be entrepreneurs, or those already that has their companies and they're planning on growing. And we're building this amazing community of physicians that are connecting to each other, supporting to each other, because I think that your net worth is equivalent to your network. And I think that it's important to consider that. The first step to me is always to try to get a good mentor that has walked the path that you're entertaining, but definitely having others that can brainstorm. It becomes a snowballing effect, and it just become magical. Change happen in not a sum of change, but exponential change, which is what I enjoy the most. And now, the other thing on the other side of the coin is fulfillment and happiness, right? We always want to have or aim for a balance where we have pleasure of balance and contentment. And we feel sometimes that when we get to a point or we reach that comfort zone, right, you might feel that you're complacent without any ambition. And I think that the crucial concept that I want to share with you here is, how do you feel on a regular basis, right? Are you feeling empowered, satisfied, ready to go at any given time? Or are you feeling dissatisfied, overwhelmed, full of fear, negativity, uncertainty? And I think that when you hear those, or when you answer those questions, and I truly want you to reflect on them, you will see in which area of your mental fitness, or in this case of your brain state, you are at a given time. Either are you on a judge, when you have your inner critic quite loud, or you are on a sage mode, when you have more your inner wisdom helping you and guiding you on your everyday living decisions. At the end of the day, I don't know what you want. This is something that I love about coaching, because when you coach others, they come to realize on their own what is the best decision they can make for them personally, professionally, or their own companies. Now, I think that at the balance, in between these two forces of successful entrepreneurship, fulfillment, and happiness, is positive intelligence, helping you build and integrate all these different nuances, all these different factors into one single pile of things that, combining all of them, it push you into the next step of your journey as growing on a regular basis rather than dragging you down. Because at the end of the day, if you think about healthcare, it's a high stake, high stress environment. Whether you are a frontline provider, you are in a leadership position, or you are founding your own company, you need to learn to navigate uncertainty, overcome resistance to change, because our brain, remember, it's not meant, it's meant to help you survive. It's not meant to help you thrive or grow. So if you think on those terms, you realize that the default mode of your brain needs to change, needs to be rewired. And precisely that's what I'm here for, to share you a path where you can go through different steps that can allow you to get this level of change. Because what you want is clear decision under pressure. You want creativity to solve complex problem, and as but more important, I would say, sustain motivation for long-term success. And at the end of the day, strengthening your mind is like a muscle. It requires exercise that are intentional, fully intentional, and strategies that can allow you to implement in your busy everyday life, right? And mental fitness, if I want to tell you on a nutshell what it is, defined for or a doctor's journey program, is your capacity to respond to life and professional challenges with a positive rather than a negative emotion, with a positive mindset rather than a negative reaction. And the best way to explain it is the two fundamental mental states. Are you on a saboteur mode or are you on a sage mode? And it's very easy to know because if you are surrounded by overwhelmed negativity, as I was alluding earlier, you are definitely on a saboteur mode and you are a moment of reflection, of wisdom, of content, you most likely are on a sage mode. And it's important to know because if you're having a crucial conversation with your spouse, with your kids, with your business partner, with the team that you're leading, it's important to stop for a moment and see if you are actually at the moment, at that given time, at that precise moment, you are in the best possible state of mind to lead that team, to provide the feedback or whatever conversation you're having. And and I think that the more you train your brain, you're going to invoke the neuroplasticity of it, and those become empowering habits. And a mentally fit innovator is more creative, confident, and equipped to handle setbacks effectively. Now, let me explain deeper a little bit how this works, right? We have the saboteur brain that is dominated by your limbic system, the fight or flight response, and the third amygdala response, the mother amygdala, is the freeze response. I see a lot of inaction, people not feeling well, people overwhelmed, people not knowing what to do, and they just not take any action. And I'm here to invite you not only to reflect on what needs to change, if anything needs to change, but more important, to start taking, even if it is a small steps toward meaningful change, it will compound over time. I love the power of compounding on my financial life, but definitely on my personal life as well. Your saboteur brain is triggered by fear, stress, and negative emotion, and it will lead to reactivity and narrow decision making. Your focus is so narrow that you don't explore possibilities, which is what we need when we're trying to troubleshoot a complex problem or challenge. On the flip side, when we talk about the sage brain, it's more leaning toward the prefrontal cortex, yes, but also the empathy circuitry. And it will encourage you to get to a point of calm, creativity, clear-headed focus, and always turn any challenging into opportunities. And the key here, the key insight is that mental fitness is basically about rewiring your brain through intentional practices that you can deploy through your day, through your busy life, and um, and it will help you get or moving from the saboteur to the sage powered brain. And this can happen with some routines that you can implement in a very short period of time. Our coaching program, for instance, is a 7 weeks program that promise a lot of these changes that you need. So now, let me tell you a little story about the judge. When I was in leadership position, on my standards, I was at the top of my career. I was leading a team that was almost 100 providers. That was back in 2017. I was checking all the boxes. Professionally, at least the milestone that I was setting for me. However, I was not feeling well. I was feeling very overwhelmed. I feel that I was regretting the time that I was missing with my two daughters that at the time they were 6 and 8 years old. And I knew that something was not right. I didn't know clearly what it was, or I knew what it was, and yet, deny it, right? So you feel like you need to keep pushing, right? And sometimes, it is true that you need to navigate challenges, and just get to see how you get to the point of overcoming those challenges. But oftentimes, you just need to stop. And I find myself. in a situation where I was finding and picking up in others, and I was micromanaging my team, and I was definitely not my best self at the time. And the lesson I learned is, as I said, that I met this guy who has been with me through all my life, through all my career, from high school and so on, and even early. You develop this as an early kid, as an early child, as a mechanism of defense. It's called the judge, is the master saboteur. I like to put a name to mine. Mine is the Terminator. He likes to find faults in me, faults in others, and faults in all the circumstances that surround me. Is a mental energy drainer, and but more important, creates a cycle of anxiety and sometimes even paralysis. Like, I knew I needed to get some help, and I procrastinate that help, because I feel like if I was gonna get help, was gonna be accept that I was feeling a lot of negativity on my mind, on my mindset, on my body, that I was ignoring for a long time. There was a lot of self-judgment, a lot of judging others, and a lot of, more important, judging the circumstances, and that keeps you more resistant to change. I see that on a regular basis, and this is something that's what I like to bring, this invitation to how you can see if you are going through something like this. You just consider that there are opportunities for help. Do not deny yourself the benefit of help. There are 9 different versions of the saboteurs. Each has different characteristic, personality traits, and that's what I like. One of the first steps we go through the coaching program is to take the positive intelligence a test. It takes less than 5 minutes. It's free, and you can know what are the top three of the 9 master saboteurs. And one of the ones that I see the most on physicians is and physician entrepreneurs is the stickler. Is that idea of perfectionism taken to an extreme, and it demands order and flawless execution. But the thing is, the stickler usually will lead to burnout and, more important, wasting time on unnecessary refinements instead of moving forward. And I'll give you an example. I recently came across this amazing physician. She's an ER physician. She's been trying to build a company that is surrounded and a specific online training for um, and I'm not going to go into the details, but the point being, she's been working on this for nearly 4 years. And it was interesting because I hung up on different physician groups and groups of entrepreneurs. Some of them focus on real estate investment, which I have in the past, some of which is more purely entrepreneurship, and even some non-physicians group. But this particular physician, I've been able to interact with her in multiple meetings, and I always ask her how your business doing, right? And the truth of the matter is that because she wants this to be so perfect, so flawless, that at this point she never launched such a program, right? So, and unfortunately now there is a huge competition on the idea she has, because there are 2 others that are getting into this same market with a similar idea. And what happened was, again, is that usually, oftentimes, when you want everything to be perfect and you don't stop to think, what are the things that really needs to be perfect, and when good enough is good enough? And that's one of the advice I'll give you today, is to detect what are aspect of your life needs to truly be flawless and perfect, even, or near perfect at least. And instead of what aspect of projects you're working on, good enough is good enough. So as I was mentioning, there are 9 different variants. You can get this test. I have done it a few times myself. I have done it with my family. I do it with most of my mental fitness clients, and we go over the results. We analyze and do a root cause analysis of what is behind that negative mindset and that overwhelm that they're suffering. And the first step that I can share with you toward meaningful change is awareness. You get to this point of self-awareness of what's going on, and you detect, and hopefully at some point you prevent from this to start happening. More important, keep in mind that these guys likes to show up in moments of stress, high stress, and high challenges, moments of uncertainty. I see this a lot on those. We all have it. It's just a matter of how much these forces control your life, your mindset, your work, and the way you interact with the challenges of your life and how you interact with others. And I think that it's self-awareness, building that self-awareness is gonna be your best friend for now. So let me reflect for a moment. And I want you to see uh, from your lens, from your life as a professional, healthcare innovator, etc. When you are faced with a high stress situation, do you typically react or do you respond? In other words, are you in a saboteur mode of negativity, overwhelmed, rushing, or you are in laser-headed creativity, out of the box thinking mindset? Because recognizing that different is the first step again toward mental fitness. Now, the other side of the coin of it is how these mental states not only affects you, but affects those around you, either even family-wise, or in this case, also the teams that you're leading. Because the emotional contagion effect is being nicely described by Sigal Barsade in the ripple effect, right? And how the emotional contagion can influence on group behaviors. And this is being back up, going back to the mental fitness, the positive intelligence test that you can get or take for free. You can know not only what is your top three or more saboteurs, but you can know how often are you in a sage versus saboteur mode, or vice versa, saboteur versus sage mode. And I can tell you upfront, the golden rule, you want to be at least 75% or more in sage mode, rather than saboteur mode. And you can do this with your own teams. And this is important. This is called the PQ vortex. And this has been studied. If the team, the average of the team and the PQ score is low, below 75 or way less than that, the performance of the team is very low. It cannot correlate. And it makes sense if you at this point understand that you are in this negative vortex, right, of ideas, etc. You are not on the full potential grow and the laser focus that you need and the critical thinking that you need. It makes sense that you're not going to be at the peak of your performance. But this has been true. But the concept I want to share with you here is the fact that the leader of the team has a significant weight in the total score of the team itself. In other words, even if you have an average team score, if the leader of the team has a quite low score, it will drag down the entire team as far as the not only the PQ score, but the performance of the team in general. Now, on the contrary, if the leader of the team has a higher score, it can not necessarily make it to the point you want to be, but at least it can pull this team up on the PQ score. The tipping point again, that has been studied 75. You want to have a 75 score or above, and or if you're not, you want to see if you can get it to that point. So, is your current mindset in saboteur or sage mode? And what can you do to keep it at the golden rule of 75? So, going back to the neuroplasticity of your brain, what you're trying to do is how you can connect all these domains of your brain, the left emotional tissue connected to your memory, past experience, and future planning. with your left thinking tissue that rationalize thinking and a structured mindset, but that also with your right emotional tissue that connect you with your present moment, body awareness and sensation. And that's oftentimes is the one that I see we are missing. Having those mental breaks and pauses through mental fitness where you can get grounded, when you can get to a point of you feel all the overwhelmed sensations that oftentimes we have on a given on a regular basis, but we truly ignore. And finally, get to the point of the right thinking tissue. It is how you can connect your mission, your value with the universe, practice gratitude, and what I call the big picture thinking, right? Because ultimately that's what you want. Maximal alignment of what you're doing with with not only what you foresee the universe or the world should be, but more important, when you align your deeper purpose with it, it just becomes amazing. And when I see that happening, you see the level of commitment, the level of growth that this person can have, and their teams and their companies. Now, keep in mind that the path from ignorance to mastery is a whole process. In coaching, we like to call when you go from point A to point B, we call it the river of misery because change is hard again. And sometimes even understanding that you need to change per se, but is the first step. I would say this is the hardest steps that you can take. And if this is the case, this is today, this is an invitation for you to get into that road that will get you into the sage mode. And there are multiple exercises we practice on our coaching program, but the idea here in general, conceptually, is that every challenge that you're going through can turn into into a gift and opportunity. And there are different sage powers from empathize, explore, innovate, navigate, and finally activate. So basically, what you're going to do is get to a point of you are empathetic with yourself and others. You explore in a very granular way. You do a root cause analysis of any challenge that you're going through, and you start brainstorming solutions. Initially, solutions that might sound silly or out of the box, completely out of the reality, I mean, but sometimes you get to a point that you start finding potential solution for challenges that you might thought at some point that that was not possible to achieve or accomplish. Finally, you get to the point of you learn how to navigate whatever decision you're taking. And lastly is when you activate, which is about taking action in full action toward massive growth, preventing you from being and seeing and knowing that your saboteurs are going to be there. They're with you right now, but it's just a matter of how you can manage them in a way that won't stop you from growing and implement a meaningful change from your life. So the concept at the end that I wanted to share here is this is these two impacts of the sage versus the saboteur, and how we want you to try to be at the sage rather than saboteur level at least 75% of the time. And the nice about the PQ score is that you can monitor this. This is not me telling you you can do. No, you can objectively get to a point that you can analyze it and you can implement it and you can see that what you're doing is working or not. There's a lot of backup data that people with higher PQ score has higher salaries, improved diagnostic accuracy, they are better negotiator, improve even in math tests, fewer sick days. And there's a lot of chemistry, neurobiology changes that can lead you to improve immune system functioning, hormonal disruptions, and even metabolic health. So now, how you can do it? And basically, I kind of give you the hint of the steps, but let's go ahead in order. First is the level of self-awareness, how you can identify your saboteurs and how they can influence your decision. Recognize patterns that hold you back. The second step is you get to a point of self-command when we do short exercise, a short of 2 minutes, at least three times a day, is like your mental fitness prescription. When you can get grounded, you can get to a point of invoking your sage, your inner wisdom at will when you need it the most. And when you shift at command to the level of a sage perspective, you know that at that given moment, in that crucial conversation, you will be saying the precise words that needs to be said. You will be able to act on your best self, the best possible person that you can be at a given time. And what I love about this perspective is the fact that is full fulfillment and content no matter the outcome, because knowing that you were able to make the best decision at that specific time, it gives you a peace even level, and less self-judgment. And finally, we get to the point of focus action, as I said, because this is not conceptually something that I want or we want to implement just in concept, but truly get to a point where you make decisions when decision needs to be made. You take action when action needs to be taken. And we use the 80-20 rule where 80% of your outcome will be driven by 20% of your action. It's just a matter of getting this level of clarity and wisdom that you know what is that 20%. And I ponder always these questions when I'm coaching entrepreneurs. Are you focusing on the 80% that won't move the needle, or you're really focusing on that 20% that will definitely get you your most wild interest goals that you can set for you and your business? Now, there are multiple self-awareness tools, and one of the ones we use, we have a 24/7 mental fitness coach assistance. Is built with artificial intelligence and trained in mental fitness for our program that you can have access to it at any given time and give you answers on the go. I use it myself on a regular basis with the voice mode of ChatGPT. You can really have a nearly conversation interaction where you can get advice on whatever you're going on. Sometimes when you're driving, and I think that this has been a very amazing enhancing tool that can improve my coaching skills because I'm able to deliver more value. Because oftentimes, your challenge can happen at any given time through the day, and having a real time, anytime access to somebody that can help it is extremely useful. And also, it can help me to streamline the journaling aspect of it. I always recommend to write down anything that you're doing. I'm a believer that if you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. You can have the best epiphany, the best idea, or the best decision you want to make, but if you don't know write it down, it's probably not going to happen anyway. And I love journaling. I love to do a thought download, or you can write down anything that's crossing your mind, and then you try to separate facts from thoughts, from feelings. And it's a very powerful experience. And using technology that can help you dissect what is what in a very fairly quickly way, it save you time, but at the same time, it multiply the outcome of the benefit of doing the practice. Once again, the self-command tools are things that, on a nutshell, are short mental breaks. And in our website at the Doctor's Journey, we have some examples of these exercises. Through the Positive Intelligence 7 weeks program, you have access to an applications where you're gonna have uh, dozens of exercises that you can use on a regular basis, even create reminders on your phone so you can remember when to do it, and so on and so forth. So I think there's a lot of power into, but if you can take again that time to take a deep breath, get grounded on the floor, and get to a point of you get that this level of awareness of the festival of sensations that you might be experiencing at a given time. It kind of help you rebuild your emotional capacity for the remaining of your day and get to this point of not mindset but mind shift when you can see the gift of life and the gift of opportunity on anything that you're doing at any given time. And that's precisely the gift that I want to give with you today, at least that spark, that ignite that curiosity for something like this. I was mentioning, right? The three gift techniques is one of the things that we use, and it's about finding knowledge, strength, and action in setbacks, you know? And these three are powerful questions, and I want you to select any struggle that you have right now, either at work, with your team, with your life, personal even, finances, etc. And I want you to stop for a moment and reflect in these three questions. What knowledge can I gain from this situation? What can I learn? What strength can I build by facing this challenge? Sometimes in your biggest challenge is your greatest accomplishments. Do not give up is my invitation. Oftentimes I see people giving up too quickly. And what inspiration can this bring for the future? And going back to connect, right? Connect your inner purpose with the universe, the overall wisdom of the universe, and how can you get inspired? So I want you to reflect on that. You can do it with more time later. And going to focus action again, I love the Pareto principle, right? The 80-20 rules is just about identify in your to-do list or your systems if you are tackling the things that you need that will give you the greatest impact in your life, career, and your business. Now, sometimes when as you set priorities, you need to get to a point of learning to eliminate wasted time or wasted activity. And I love this concept of deliberative subtraction, right? Sometimes it's not about what I'm going to be adding, but what I need to remove in order to get to the point where I want to be. Accountability, going back to the concept of coaching, we like building community. I was mentioning the physician exchange community where we mentor physician entrepreneurs that are building their businesses. We launch on a periodical basis a 3 months program. And I also have my mental fitness program, which I'm going to share some details at the end. But the point being is seeking guidance, seeking help when you need, and is very, very much empowering. If you're hesitant about whether it should I need it or not, I always feel like my response is anyone can benefit from coaching, but not everyone is ready for it. So it's just a matter of where you're coming from, where you are in your stage of your life and career, where you feel that having something like this can be empowering and helpful. So at the end of the day, my suggestion is to start small. You can take 5 to 10 minutes daily for your mental fitness practice. As I mentioned, at Doctor's Journey, we have some resources. Through the program, we have access to dozens of small practices that you can pick and choose whatever you want or the one that you feel like is more useful for your particular case. And we are individual, we have different priority, different workflow, different schedule. So I like the possibility of tailoring these practices to your own unique needs and anchor it to existing habits has become powerful while you're eating, brushing your teeth, and so on. And you track your progress. And as I said, the ultimate tracker is going to be your PQ score when you see it going up or down or remaining the same. So you know that you're moving or not the needle to a meaningful change. And you have the support of community, support of coach, and support of our mental fitness assistant. And you adapt and refine, as I was mentioning. So at the end of the day, I want you today to just set a long-term goal for your mental fitness journey. And I want you to remain calm and focus on the pressure. by the end of this quarter. That's an example, right? Or maybe by the end of this week, or maybe at the end of the day, or maybe in the meeting that you're about to have after you're watching this video, either live or the recording. What event is coming for you that require you to be in your best state of mind, and how you can take a moment to get yourself grounded and give you these few minutes of mental breaks. I do it all the time, even before I'm doing a live event like this. I prepare myself, and we're not talking about endless hours of meditation. I'm talking about a few highly intense, highly focused mental breaks. And that's precisely what leads us to the Doctor's Journey signature program. And we transform leadership with positive intelligence and align personal fulfillment with professional success, helping building resilient and cohesive and high performing individuals that hopefully will lead teams. The way I see it for me personally is I always want improving in causing a mind shift, a physician or entrepreneur at the time will cause a domino effects that will just be expansive. And that's what I'm aiming at. The core of what I'm offering is precisely that. And I'm doing it because I think it's the right thing to do. It's an often ignored conversations about burnout, about moral injury, about personal, but more important, professional fulfillment. And that's precisely what had led me to build a program like this. And we do also offer a tailored program for teams, and I've been blessed also to coach small teams for improving performance. And and I think that when you are able to get your team to be on the best state of mind on a consistent basis and at demand, regardless of the challenge, that's just the secret sauce for a successful startups or company or etc. And because when they strengthen their sage brain, they shift from the reactivity to proactivity collaboration. And interesting, it will improve not only their performance, but their emotional well-being. And we have different frameworks for this is more tailored to teams. And the shift, the concept principle is the same. The way we strategize for them kind of shift a little bit. We talk about four main core components: psychological safety, purpose alignment, which is crucial, mental fitness, and consistent communication. So I'm not going to go over all these today, but I just want to share the possibility that you can have with mental fitness also in the case of small teams. We always encourage vulnerability. Brené Brown mentioned this. It's not a weakness, it's a strength. And why is so hard to accept, right? When we're going through a struggle, right? And having an opportunity to check on your team, what's going on, what's coming up for them. And this is not about having a witch hunt, right? And try to find who we're gonna blame for X or Y problem, or just a whining all the time kind of situation, but rather than understand and try to meet your team to where they are and build trust and spark change at any given meetings, no matter how crucial or how challenging this meeting is. And the nice about all these frameworks, if you think about it, is that you can really get to a point where your team is inspired and how they're going to be committed to meaningful and lasting ways, how they're inspired to have an impact not only inside but outside of their team. And that would be kind of something that you definitely want to be with, because if not, you're in a saboteur driven fear. And as I was mentioning, those are small practices that we can implement. We have multiple resources that we can share at doctorsjourney.com. So you want to get to a point of adaptability and creativity and problem solving. Um, so I'm gonna pause a little bit of this, so because I want to have an opportunity to answer any questions that any of you might have. So I'm just going to leave you with these a couple of thoughts. Remember, your opportunity to thrive starts today. This is a time to take actionable steps toward your mental fitness and can equip yourself and your team with the tools to be successful under pressure while maintaining balance and resilience. And the best way to predict the future is to create it. Because remember, a person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusion. So I want you to deeply reflect on this quote and how this applied to our life. You know, we live in automatic pilot. Our default mode is overwhelmed by news, information, data, and it's hard for us sometimes to really select what really deserve our attention at a given time. But believe me, it is possible to get to that point of clarity. It just requires some time. So our invitation is for us to connect with us at the doctorsjourney.com. We have different resources. S- some of them are complementary if you're just interested in getting started to learn about coaching, learn about positive intelligence and mental fitness. We have a podcast where we interview physicians and healthcare innovators, and I've been blessed to interview amazing people. I learn all the time just by scratching the brain of these people that is just disrupting the status quo of the healthcare system. And we have this program called a mental fitness program that we offer a tons of value and additional resources that goes beyond mental fitness because in as part of this program, some of the add-ons that we have includes resources related to how you can improve your workflows with artificial intelligence, how you can deploy technology to help you on your journey of journaling or mental fitness, interaction with your ongoing AI coach. But more important, ultimately, you have access to the positive intelligent applications where you can get through all this program, and we're stewards of your development through the program. But mostly, this program will run on an application on your phone when you're going to have access to all these exercise and some lectures and teachings. And I just love to see how people change it. And I've been doing this program for many years now, and it's been a game changer for me, for my businesses. And this is an invitation for you to explore it. If you want to know more about it or learn more about it, you can use the QR code, or you just go to a doctorsjourney.com and find the Positive Intelligent program. That is one of our signature. We have two signature program at Revitalize MD, which is my main coaching program, and we have our mental fitness positive intelligence program, which is the one that we're introducing to you today. We have some additional discounts that are going through this month, and I'm hoping that any of you that find this valuable, please reach out and connect with us. And we're very active in social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. And we have different, again, resources. One of the ones that I've been working lately with my team has been developing a specific prompts that you can use that are tailored for small business owner. If you are interested on checking it out, it's completely free. So to download, and I have shared it with some other physician entrepreneurs and some of the part of my mastermind programs that I was alluding earlier. And if you're interested on that particular program, is also something you can reach out to me directly by email at Miguel at the doctorsjourney.com. And I'm very blessed to be able to serve any of you and help you on your journey. And if you have any question, you can put it on on the chat box. On the chat box. However, I do have the opportunity to share with you a link to our mental fitness program, or mental fitness coach, I mean. So I'm gonna put it in the chat so you guys have access to it. And also a direct link to our mental fitness program. I'm gonna put it in Zoom, and I'm also gonna add it in the chat here so you guys can have the opportunity to see it or access it. Once again, this is completely complimentary and free to use. So feel free to access it if you feel that this is something you want to check it out. I've been using it myself lately. I was mentioning the power of technology, how these can be a game changer for most. And okay. So I just put the link to it, to the mental fitness program, and to the or custom coach in GPT. We're building a very robust program that we're gonna offer complimentary soon. As far as this assistant, so to speak, coach. But for now, we have this very nice to get you started. It's completely complimentary. You can check it out, and we're gonna wrap things up because we're 1 minute to 10. But it was amazing to serve you, and I hope to see you around. We're always interested and connected with physicians, healthcare innovators, founders, all for digital health, improving workflow, and I wish you a great rest of your day. You take care.